Hello, I'm Captain Jack and welcome to the Hangar Bay. On this channel, we take a deep dive into the best starships, technology, and more from your favourite sci-fi universes. Today, we're talking about the Ghost Fleet offensive in Battlestar Galactica. This was a highly classified operation conducted by the Colonial Fleet in an attempt to deceive the Cylon Forces and ultimately strike them where it would hurt. The plan was a success, with multiple Colonial Battlestars and vessels taking part at various stages. So, what actually was the Ghost Fleet offensive? Remember, for the latest videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let us know what you think of these ships in the comments below. Oh, and while you're here, which Battlestar would you like to command? Or support ship, either or works. Make sure you get commenting. Okay, let's go. The Ghost Fleet offensive appears to have been initiated around the 10th year of the First Cylon War. This would be around 42 years before the fall of the 12 colonies. As Colonial Forces were facing more and more defeats from the relentless Cylon Forces, a desperate plan was hatched by Colonial Fleet Command. The goal was to feed the Cylons misinformation about both the Ghost Fleet's position and the ships involved in the initiative. During the war, many Battlestars and other vessels were presumed lost or destroyed in battles against the Cylons. These included the Battlestar Valkyrie and at least the heavy cruiser Loki. While many, including both the general colonial public and the Cylon Forces, thought these ships were gone, it was actually all part of a secret plan. In reality, many of these ships were selected to form a secret fleet behind the Cylons' lines. This was the Ghost Fleet. Once the word was given, this fleet would strike out with surprise attacks against key locations within Cylon-controlled space, aiming to deal a critical blow against a ruthless enemy force. Due to being fed misinformation, the Cylon Forces scrambled their ships to different locations, but by the time they arrived, the Ghost Fleet was long gone. Ultimately, the confusion allowed the Ghost Fleet to strike. Following the Battle of Djerba, where Dr. Kelly uploaded her misinformation to the Cylon Communications Array, the Colonial Ghost Fleet launched its offensive. The Battlestar Galactica would join the Ghost Fleet following this battle. According to Galactica's CO, Commander Silas Nash, the fleet inflicted significant damage on every Cylon base in 5 sectors. While a military and strategic success, the strike also provided a much needed morale boost for the Colonial Forces. Due to the effect of the Ghost Fleet, it effectively put the Cylons on the defensive for the first time in quite a while. Several known Colonial vessels were part of the Ghost Fleet, whether temporarily or permanently. We haven't identified every vessel within the fleet, but here are some of the ones we are aware of. A Jupiter-class Battlestar known as Archeron was formerly attached to the Ghost Fleet. Unfortunately, the vessel never actually took part in the attack, as it was lost of all hands before it took place. The Archeron participated in a colonial offensive, Operation Clean Sweep, during the First Cylon War. During the known engagement, it came under attack from Cylon Forces. Archeron ignored the orders of the redeployed Battlestar Group 75 and proceeded to jump away to Sector 12 to join the Ghost Fleet. Following redeployment, the Archeron was ultimately destroyed in an ambush. The wreckage of a Battlestar was later encountered by Raptor 909. The Archeron had been ordered to pick up Dr. Becca Kelly from the Colonial Raptor, but it was destroyed before it had the chance. As such, it was not able to take part in the Ghost Fleet offensive. We've actually done a complete breakdown of the Jupiter-class Battlestar here on the Hangar Bay channel, as well as a video overview of every known Jupiter-class Battlestar. Check those out in our video playlist below. It would seem that Battlestar Valkyrie was a part of the Ghost Fleet offensive. This was a Valkyrie-class Battlestar that we have seen before, during the reimagined series of Battlestar Galactica. Valkyrie's presence in the Ghost Fleet was confirmed by the crew of Raptor 909, who identified it. Before the Battlestar Valkyrie came to be a part of the Ghost Fleet, it was involved in the battle over Canceron. During the tense engagement, Cylons heavily damaged the Valkyrie, and it was presumed destroyed by enemy forces. In fact, the Valkyrie had jumped away to the Ghost Fleet and had joined up with other Colonial forces thought destroyed. Some of the Valkyrie's pilots were later assigned to the assault ship Osiris, which we'll talk about next. We've actually done a complete breakdown of a Valkyrie-class Battlestar here on the Hangar Bay channel. Check it out in our video playlist below. In another shot of the Ghost Fleet, we can actually see some other Valkyrie-class Battlestars, but they are not identified by name or markings. What would you call a Valkyrie-class Battlestar? Comment below. One Orion-class assault ship takes part in the Ghost Fleet offensive. This is the Osiris, which is fitted with stealth technology that we will go over in a moment. The Orion-class assault ship came in at an approximate length of 359.6 meters, with a width of 104.2 meters and a height of 111.9 meters. Designated as a support vessel, it features lighter armaments than the Colonial Battlestars. As such, it carried 12 primary dual kinetic energy weapons and 42 secondary dual KEWs. 6 missile tubes were loaded on board. Defensively, the Orion-class lacked the thick armor plating that other vessels typically used. However, at least one ship of the Orion-class, which was the Osiris, was fitted with stealth technology. It's unclear if this was present on other ships of the Orion-class, or it was perhaps a war refit. While not perfect, the stealth coating allowed the ship to operate for several minutes near Cylon Battlestars and other forces before being spotted. The trade-off of this system was increased heat within the ship, making for a less than ideal workspace for the Starship's crew. Once the Orion-class stealth had been detected, the support ship was able to use its 32 quad-point defense KW batteries to produce flak screens against incoming fighter craft and ordnance. Due to the ship's size, it only had room for a small complement of Viper fighters. However, it was also able to carry several Raptor multi-purpose craft on board. No flight pods were installed. Instead, a traditional style hangar space was installed under the engine assembly of the Orion-class. Commanded by Commander Ozar, the Osiris was part of the Ghost Fleet and played a critical role in a secret colonial operation to mislead the Cylon Forces. During the mission to deliver Dr. Kelly to the ice planet, the Osiris encountered Cylon Battlestar and engaged it. Due to sustaining critical damage, the Osiris could not deploy its nuclear weapons. To ensure the mission's success, Commander Ozar set a collision course with the Battlestar and rammed the Osiris into it. Once crash landed into the Cylon Battlestar, Ozar detonated the Osiris' nuclear weapons manually, destroying the Osiris, the Battlestar, Raiders, and all remaining Colonial Vipers in the vicinity. The heavy cruiser Loki was one of the many ships in the Ghost Fleet. This vessel serves as both a heavy cruiser and a fleet support ship. While it was named for the shape-changing Norse god of mischief, the Loki was distinguished in the fleet by a 3-part hull beneath a domed upper structure. This terminated in a huge alligator head. The Loki appeared to measure 779 meters in length, 199 meters in width, and 145 meters in height. The vessel had an armament of 24 primary KWs, with standard armor plating and at least 2 landing bays for Colonial Vipers and Raptors. The ship was propelled by 9 sublight drive engines and multiple maneuvering thrusters. According to the known information, the Loki was seriously damaged in combat with the Cylons around 42 BCH. With the planning of a Ghost Fleet offensive, the Loki was recorded as lost and presumed destroyed with all hands. In reality, the vessel was assigned to the Ghost Fleet staging grounds in Cylon-controlled space. We are aware of 3 additional Loki-type heavy cruisers participating, including the Cyclops PCS-73 and 2 unnamed vessels. All of these were part of the Ghost Fleet. Following the mission to the ice planet, in which the Osiris was lost with all hands, the Jupiter-class Battlestar Galactica would join the Ghost Fleet. The Galactica ultimately took part in a strike against Cylon Forces and survived. One of the many support vessels used by Colonial Forces was the Berzerk-class. 3 unknown vessels of the Berzerk-class were taking part in the Ghost Fleet offensive. The Berzerk design was one of the largest non-Battlestar designs in service to the Colonial Fleet and had been used for many years. A unique feature of the Berzerk-class is what appears to be a detachable multi-mission package module. These were stored in the midsection of the hull. A Berzerk-class support ship measured a length of 841.2 meters, a width of 215 meters, and a height of 117.5 meters. Although it was a support vessel, it still carried armaments. These included 10 main dual KW turrets, along with 10 Seawards dual KW batteries, and the standard colonial armor plating. 10 Viper launch tubes were also installed on board, allowing the Berzerk-class to launch Viper Mark 1s, Mark 2s, and Mark 3s. The exact fighter complement is currently unknown. The Defender-class fleet Escort also took part in the Ghost Fleet offensive. One of these vessels was part of the fleet. Designated as an escort vessel, the Defender-class measured 553.6 meters, a width of 200.9 meters, and a height of 119.1 meters. It likely features an armament of primary KWs and ship-to-ship missiles. Likely point defense cannons, a standard on most colonial warships, would also be installed alongside armor plating for defense. A Defender-class Escort also had 1 flight pod installed. The design could also accommodate Colonial Raptors on board. While they were part of a Ghost Fleet, later on 2 Defender-class Escorts would end up in the Battlestar Galactica's fleet following the fall of the 12 colonies. One of these is identified as the Adriatic. There is a little issue with the Defender class as seen in Battlestar Galactica. During the development of the series in 2004, the design of a Defender fleet Escort was created at the wrong scale. As such, the CGI team would then scale the ship on a case-by-case basis. The same thing had happened to the Defender class in the Ghost Fleet. You can tell it is the wrong scale due to the engines looking somewhat out of place. When examining the CGI model, the scale is 1,442 meters in length, 523 meters in width, and 341 meters in height. Another colonial vessel design in the Ghost Fleet was the Demeter-type. You may think this looks like the Osiris. It is actually a sister class to the Orion-class design, of which the Osiris is a part, as we have mentioned. There are differences. The Demeter-type is presumed to have launched around, if not before, the Orion-class design. As its sister class, the Demeter-type carried Battlestar-grade weaponry and even more secondary batteries. At a length of 359.6 meters, the Demeter-type was armed with 12 primary dual KWs and 50 secondary dual KWs. Defense systems included 32 quad-point defense KWs and armor plating. In terms of a small craft complement, 3 hangar bays were installed, which would allow for Colonial Raptors. However, 18 Viper launch tubes were also present, allowing for the launch of Colonial Vipers. The main armament comprised of 12 dual KWs, kinetic energy weapon batteries. While not the same caliber as a Jupiter-class, and close in caliber to the Valkyrie's primary batteries, they still pose a significant threat to smaller/medium Cylon vessels. Another of the Colonial escort ship designs is the Alert type. 2 of these vessels were taking part in the Ghost Fleet offensive. To be clear, the 2 Alert types that belonged to the Ghost Fleet were the second configuration, known as Flight 2. The Alert was a purpose-built warship and was also a sister class of a Hornet type design, which we'll go over another day, maybe in the lost ships of Battlestar Galactica. Typically, the class design would serve as escorts to the larger Jupiter-class Battlestar designs. By the 10th year of the First Cylon War, at least 1 Alert type had been converted to serve as a hospital ship. An Alert Flight 2 type design measured approximately 270 meters in length, 37 meters in width, and 44 meters in height. As an escort, the vessel was armed with 4 main dual KWs and 31 secondary dual KWs. These weapons were the same caliber as those carried by both the Orion-class and the Demeter-class. 2 flight pods were installed on board, likely allowing Colonial Raptors, another small craft, to dock on board. No Viper launch tubes were installed. The layers of thick armor are the ship's defense. One unknown Jupiter-class Battlestar was also participating in the Ghost Fleet offensive before the mission to the ice planet. It's not made clear which Jupiter-class Battlestar this actually is, as it's never been identified. Have you spotted a ship in the Ghost Fleet that you're not quite sure on? Comment down below and we'll see what we can do. As we conclude this video, we'd like to thank the developers of Battlestar Galactica Fleet Commander for the gameplay footage you've seen throughout this video. Oh, and the Battlestar.wiki team for the input on the lore of Battlestar Galactica. Check both of these out via the description. That's our information on the Ghost Fleet offensive in Battlestar Galactica. If you want to continue the Battlestar adventure here on the Hangar Bay YouTube channel, check out our dedicated breakdowns of Colonial Battlestars such as the Valkyrie, Pegasus, and Galactica, or the Cylon Battlestar via the playlist link below. If you want to learn more about the starships and science fiction, then hit that subscribe button. That's the end of this video. I've been Captain Jack in the Hangar Bay. Remember, if you're talking about science fiction, we want to hear about it.